kidnap girl? What type of shit? Here's another free-to-play episode. The day I turned 17, I kidnapped a girl. Y'all motherfuckers are weird. Her name was Alice. Social ability was not the main feature of her character in class. She was always quiet, especially when those are due. A girl like her was not difficult to pull out for a date after school. God damn, y'all really doing that shit. In the process, she readily agreed to come home with me, where I gave her some juice laced with sleeping pills. Alice fell asleep in just a few minutes. It's my first kidnap. What? Not a bad beginning. This is sick. What the fuck? Everything went according to plan, although with the dosage, I went too far. I lived with my uncle. His house was too big for the two of us, so some of the rooms were just empty. My uncle said for a long time that he wanted to rent them out, but he didn't post any ads, so I used one of them as my torture chamber. Of course, he didn't know that. What? Edward was the name of my uncle. He rarely went into the empty room. The only key card to the room was settled in my pocket. Edward always came home late, so today I had plenty of time to have fun. When I locked myself in my room with Alice, I felt a wave of heat swept through my body. My hands were sweating as I began to crawl along the rope. My gaze darted hungrily from the sharp blade to the white skin of the motionless body and back. I like my lips in anticipation. I am like getting like kind of sick, bro. Like simultaneously with the excitement, bad thoughts came to my head. I looked back at the closed door. Did I make any mistakes? Did everything go well? I shook my head, shaking off my misgivings, and set about the task I had long dreamed of. What the fuck? The only thing that matters now is that it's just the two of us and that we won't be disturbed for the next few hours. I was getting excited about what was coming. Putting my tools aside, I sat down next to Alice, putting my hand on her thigh, fragile leg. I ran my hand up her thighs, touching the edge of her short skirt. I need to take off her clothes, otherwise it will only prevent me. All right. If that's what's gonna be happening, hold on. Did I just skip something? Button by button, I slowly removed her shirt and froze in disbelief. What the fuck? There were bruises and other signs of beatings under her clothes. I didn't hit her, so I couldn't have left those bruises. Then where did they come from? Is she being beaten at home? And after all, she was only beaten where the clothes could hide the bruises to avoid being seen by strangers. It seems that Alice was regularly bullied. In some places, there were fresh bruises filled with blood, and others disgusting blackened spots. The older ones were slowly dissolving. I can't even imagine how hard and painful it had to be to move in the state. But she came to school every day and even smiled in rare conversations with her classmates. Perhaps she decided to go with me so that she could return her home as late as possible. These thoughts made the desire to hurt her disappear. But I didn't change my mind. What the fuck? The strange feeling in my heart was probably not pity but disappointment. After all, psychos like me can't feel pity and can't empathize with others. When I kidnapped Alice, I wanted to enjoy her suffering to see the first of... Whoa! And now I can't get what I want. Her body is covered in injuries without my effort. It's like asking for a sweet birthday cake but getting a stale, moldy cupcake. How can I fill Alice with pain and horror when she's already being bullied? After thinking about it, I decided to hide all the torture items that I could indicate the real reason for the abduction. What? And when Alice wakes up, I'll send her home and find a better victim next time. Oh my god. You dead ass, bro. Oh my god. Alright, Alice finally opened her eyes. Ask if she is alright. Let's keep silent. I looked at her in silence. She looked at me back. We looked into each other's eyes for a long time until she was the first to break the silence. You put me to sleep. You put me to sleep, you motherfucker. Those words froze me for a second. How did she know about that? Oh, what are you talking about? When we were sitting here, you just passed out. I've been put to sleep more than once, so I know the feeling when I start to fall asleep after sleeping pills. What is this? Put to sleep? I was more taken aback by this news than when Alice said I had drugged her. It's... never mind. Why did you put me to sleep anyway? Did you do something to me? Alice touched herself between her legs without lifting her skirt. This music is loud as shit. I can't even... I don't know, like, the audio... Hey, I didn't do anything wrong, dude. She took her hand away. You're right. Then why? I told you. I know you put me to sleep. Stop dodging the question. I didn't know what to say. The awkwardness of the situation increased with every second. I didn't know what to do or what to say. It was necessary to change the subject urgently and try to take the control of the situation. Where did you get the bruises? So you undressed me. Ah, I get it. Where are the photos? What photos? The photos of my body. No, I didn't undress you. You or take pictures of you. Trust me. Then why did you put me to sleep? That is not true at all, and you still haven't answered my question. I will only tell you after I hear the truth. I hesitated. Should I tell the truth? Something like, oh, I'm sorry, I just wanted to torture you at home, but it's okay. I've already changed my mind, so you can go home. Bruh. No, this is nonsense, then. I'm not sure if it will work, but it's worth a try. I know. You know, lowering his eyes, stammering, he pretended to be very confused. The only way to get out of the situation, which would go without suspicion, is to come up with a sufficiently touching story. As far as I know, girls are more emotional and romantic than boys. I like you. And for a long time, I have had the desire to kidnap a loved one. So I decided on my birthday to make myself... Bro, you're weird, bro. You're weird. Rubbing my hand, I continued to stare at the floor without looking up. Who would believe that? Wait, you. You love me. It looked like I was like ready to fucking... Nah, bro, I was just scratching. I nodded uncertainly. Someone like me. The recent awareness and anger disappeared smoothly. She smiled and her eyes lit up. It worked. Well, my lie worked. Although I must admit, I did not expect much success and was already preparing to reduce the kidnapping to a mocking joke. To laugh in her face, call her a naive fool for believing that such a handsome man like me can truly ask a mild-mannered girl like her out. And then rudely take her to the door after dealing with several insulting phrases thrown at me. After this farewell, it is not that I could just go back and talk to her anytime soon. I must admit that Alice is not as simple as it seemed. I didn't manage to deceive her at first, although I'm an experienced liar. But how could she immediately believe that I loved her? While I was wondering at her naivety. I don't know how to pronounce that. She thought about something for a couple of seconds in silence. It turns out that I was kidnapped by my classmate who was also crazy. Her voice has become more soft. I would even say melodic. No, melodic. Melodious. What did you want to do next? Well, I wanted to let you live with me. Probably. Alice laughed. Probably. You didn't think it through, did you? There's nothing funny about it. I frowned slightly, which confused my former captive. Ha, I'm sorry. I just always thought you were incredible. You had excellent grades in all subjects. You get prizes. You are good at sports. I never thought a guy like you would like me. I didn't think you were a bit stupid after all. And this is said by the person who was kidnapped. Bruh. How dare you? The tension has disappeared. Alice relaxed and began to behave more freely and at ease. The title, like, what is I know what's happening, but why is it all of a sudden? Oh, you kidnapped me. That's funny. Why'd you do that? Oh, wait. Like, what is... At school, she usually doesn't attract attention. During recess, she rarely leaves the classroom, sitting at her desk with her hand down or silently looking out the window. In general, an inconspicuous gray mouse. And now I can't. Now I even catch myself thinking that she has a very nice smile. School, hobbies, music. We moved freely from one topic to another, consciously not thinking about the kidnapping, and did not notice how time flew by. The longer we talked, the more free Alice felt. She listened to me with genuine interest, sometimes even making various jokes in my direction and laughing sincerely. I listened to her stories, and sometimes I couldn't help but smile. I got the feeling that the Alice who goes to school with me and the Alice who's sitting next to me are two different people. I never thought Alice could be so sociable and happy. The next few hours passed quickly. We chatted about all sorts of Are we gonna ignore the fact that this dude literally wanted to freaking hurt her? I was an idiot. Yeah, you are. It's late. I think it's time for you to go home. Your parents are probably worried. My words made Alice suddenly sad. Aww. Her smile and the sparkles in her eyes. That's sad. That's actually kind of sad. It's like she's back in the ghost mask she's always wore at school. I don't have... Oh, shit. That took a huge... Yo, that took a huge turn. Sorry. Then who do you live with? With my stepmother and her boyfriend. She almost hissed the last words through her teeth. It was immediately clear to me that things were not going well at home. My guess was confirmed that the family does not favor her very much. Aww. Alice continued to sit next to me, not wanting to leave. I was silent and just looked at the time on my phone. Edward should be back soon, and if he sees Alex, I will have to explain. He is a good man and will be happy if I bring a girl home, but Alice is not my girlfriend. I just kidnapped her and Why? Were you just gonna ignore the fact that you wanted to do that? Bind and hide in another room with a gag in her mouth is one thing, but to explain what Alice was doing and how we met, I didn't want to.
Self-voicing enabled.
What the fuck?
Seeing my confusion, she stopped.
No, I want to read it myself, bitch.
Self-voicing disabled.
Thank God. What the fuck? Seeing my confusion, she stopped. Alice glanced at me briefly, then for a moment pursued her lips, and with a sharp exhale stood up. I'm sorry you don't live alone. It's already late. She went to the doorstep. She went to the door with a noticeable reluctance. For what? It was raining outside. Before leaving, Alice turned around. She sang the last words. You know, I wouldn't mind if you really kidnapped me. You're much more comforting. Yo, what the fuck? She left. So it would have ended, but a couple hours later, Alice returned. The doorbell rang. This is interesting, though. I'm not gonna lie. So please kidnap me. Yo, what? After voicing her insane... That music's kind of loud. After voicing her insane request and holding her bag with a trembling hand, she smiled and cried. And the smile on her face was just an artificial dam, ready to collapse at any moment under the influx of emotions, unable to contain the accumulated sadness, loneliness, and despair. What happened to her? Why is she crying? Such questions did not linger in my mind for long because the way she looked now. Her pain drew and began. Her vulnerability and tears seemed to cry, lock me away from people and do what you want to me. What the fuck? On my doorstep stood not a sad classmate, but a victim begging her executioner to put her out of her misery. Oh shit. The sight of her made me want to hurt her again. What? A familiar wave of excitement ran through my body, my breath quickened, my hands trembled with impatience. I wanted to lock myself in her and run a bullet up. I'm getting kind of scared, bro. I wanted to see how her tears would flow with a drop of blood. Do you want to be kidnapped? Haven't you even considered the possible consequences? Poor Alice. I couldn't help it. I roughly grabbed her hand and led her to the same room. Uh-oh. We were alone again. All that remains is to take the knife and... Wait, you want to do this to me even though I'm used? I'm a used product. What are you talking about? Alice told me everything. She worked as a prostitute. I wanted to save money so that after coming of age, I could immediately leave my stepmother and her boyfriend and live separately. Her stepmother's lover liked to molest her, but Alice locked herself in her room. Just making sure my parents ain't coming here to hear this shit. Today when she returned, this man had, as always, was drunk. Her stepmother was not at home, and he tried to rape her. She barely fought back and ran away from home, returning to me, and she had nowhere else to go. Now you hate me. I'm sorry I did that. If I'd known someone like you would like me. Her tears started to flow harder. But please let me stay with you. I'll do anything. Ah! Anything. Those two words stuck in my head. Will she consent to be the victim of my torture? While I was thinking about this, Alice continued to stand waiting for my answer. What the fuck? I couldn't find any words to say, so I hugged her instead. I want a hug. This embrace was a fleeting impulse, which for some reason I instantly obeyed. And even though I didn't expect it from myself at the moment, this hug seemed the only right thing to do. Facts, don't fucking murder her, you weirdo. Don't torture her. This is how we started living together. Hey, that gaming setup's pretty nice. Look at that. You see that? Hey! He has a triple monitor setup with, you know, a monitor on top. Look at that. That's sick. That's my PS4. And then he has an Xbox and he has speakers and shit. And he has LED lights and he has a freaking Razer webcam and shit. That's fire. Salive. I literally just mumbled his name half the time because I don't know how to pronounce it. I'm getting hiccups. Ah! Salive, are you still awake? Saliva. Hi, Edward. I need to prepare for tomorrow's test. Good. Just don't overdo it because I won't ask you to give me high marks. It's enough for me that you're happy. Yes, I understand. Well, I won't bother you. Look at that gaming chair. Oh, the Alex Jordan, the PC. Yo, whoever made this, you probably have a sick-ass setup because, like, that's realistic as fuck. Look at the lamp. The Pixar lamp. He didn't notice anything. Great. Great. I locked the door and went to the balcony. Alice, you can come in, but quietly. Did everything go well? Yes. Initially, I wanted to put Alice in one of the empty rooms, but she was afraid that my uncle would still notice her, so she was stubbornly demanded to spend the night with me. My room was so spacious, so it was easy to lay another mattress. In theory, Alice would go to school with me. Edward always left the house earlier, so there wouldn't be any problems. On Saturday, we would stay at home, and on Sundays, Uncle did not work, so Alice and I would just walk late until Edward falls asleep. The only problem was that my uncle could come into the room at night, so I started locking up. Since then, I had many opportunities to talk to Alice. Hey, man, is this what this like and cartoon shit is really like? It makes you give you scenarios of shit, and you're like, damn, I wish I had that. Like, goddamn. Maybe it's because we started living together. At school, she followed me everywhere. Why are you following me? What should I do if you will be with me? You will have various surprises. What are the surprises? I'm not going to give in to such temptations. She came close to me and whispered in my ear, even if you want to do something with me, it's nice. You're kidding. Hey, don't make me feel so, don't make such an indifferent face. Alice's conversation and behavior turned me on every time. What the fuck? After a while, I decided to finish what I started. Saturday. Alice, can I tie you up? At this time, she was chewing chips. When I asked her about it, Alex froze with her mouth open. So you will let me? Hold up. I'm playing. I'm playing! Oh, you finally decided to show me your secret fetish, huh? Well, be glad, for Alice is in a good mood. Yo! I knew that she would not refuse me. During the time we spent together, it was easy to see that Alice had fallen head over heels in love with me, and now she was as docile as a trained dog. Before proceeding with my plan, I put a diaper on the bed so so as to not stain the bed with what the fuck. And then I tied Alice up, unbuttoned her shirt, and taped her mouth shut. No resistance, on the contrary, she put her hands in the loops, waiting with interest for what would happen next. Just in case I turned up the music louder, the neighbors don't need to hear all that screaming. I'm kind of scared, dude. I'm kind of scared. As soon as the blade of the knife flashed in my hands, Alice twitched, but immediately probably thinking it was a joke. How wrong she was. I put the knife to her oh my god. No visuals, please. I put the knife to her slightly pale skin, which had already been... There's one... Oh, alright, it's not gonna push down. Starts bleeding. Mooing. Resistance. Fear. She tried to get out, but I tied her to just as soon as I was about to make it, and I felt wrong. Something was wrong. Why don't I feel pleasure? I've always wanted to do so. Why? You're a fucking weirdo! I'm so disturbed! What the hell have I done? I dropped the knife and ran under the way, leaving out. Oh, fuck. I don't want to see none of that, bruh. I dropped the knife and ran under the way, leaving Alice. At that moment, I realized with horror that I no longer... Yeah! It's a fucking porn-induced shit, bro. Like, that's so disgusting. He got mad clarity. You know, post-nut clarity, but instead, like, the second you actually, like, were supposed to do the shit, you're like, wait a minute. This shit ain't right. What the hell yeah, you're fucking weird, bro. I've been dreaming about this. Oh my god. I remember the trail of blood running down and suddenly felt... Yeah! Too much porn, bro. Too much porn. He watched too much porn, and what ended up happening was he kept doing this shit, and then it turned into a fucking porn-induced fetish, and he thought he liked it, and then what ended up happening was he thought that he wanted it. It's not that, bro. If anybody out there is experiencing this shit, just don't do it. Don't, like, you gotta take a break from porn. If you've ever reached this point, you need to relax. Take a break from porn, please. Just don't do it. All right. It's literally gonna turn you into this motherfucker right here. All right. All right. Stop beating your shit. Just leave it. All right. Get some help. Go on NoFap. Pushing the nausea away, I leaned my back against the wall and slid down. Alice. Looking at this girl, I saw a person filled with pain. I often met such people on the street. Their blank stare, quiet voice, and hesitant movements always made me want to pick up a guitar string and tighten it around the poor person's neck. Then why do I feel so bad now that I'm close to realizing my dream? Yes! It's like, bro, this is exactly a fetish, bruh. You think you like something and you don't, bro. Like, you're thinking, oh yeah, this is a fetish, I like it. And then when you actually, like, yeah, you're finally supposed to do it, it doesn't seem, because you don't actually like it, because you're not actually like this, bro. I have neither pity nor compassion. I'm a fucking maniac. With every such thought, I would slam my fist on the floor with a vicious frenzy, and my eyes would fill with tears. I don't remember how long I sat there, maybe a minute, maybe an hour, in a fit of anger at myself. Time simply ceased to exist. Calming down a little bit, I got up from the floor. I need to untie Alex. After this, she will probably leave me. It's better this way. I don't want to see her like this. I don't want to see her. I know. I don't want to see her again. I don't want to hurt her anymore. After returning to my room with the first thing and providing it, I untied it. Untied it? It? You're calling her an it? You can leave. The door is open. Alice didn't move and just looked in silence. Then her eyes got wet. So you did this on purpose to kick me out, right? Right? Not at all. Then why did you do such a terrible thing to me? I do not understand. You really want to get rid of me? No. Yes. She started shouting and started throwing dirty words at me. I just waited in silence for her to calm down. You son of a bitch. Why did you hurt me? Man. Because I'm a psychopath. I've always wanted to do this in the beginning. I kidnapped you just to torture you. Then why did you stop? I don't know. I don't enjoy it. I've always thought that I wanted to hurt someone, but it turned out this was not the case. Damn, I'm such an idiot. We didn't say anything else. We just sat across from each other in silence, their eyes downcast. After a while, Alex broke the silence. So you don't like me? I raised my my chest hurts, dude. I raised my head and looked at her. She looked more or less calm now. No, I never like. Damn! Bruh! You lied. I hate you. Well, that was a very interesting video, wasn't it? Okay, so this is part 1. We are going to be doing part 2 later on this week, okay? If you want a part 2, please leave a like. I don't know, bro. This shit is weird, bro. This fucking fetish like a motherfucker. Hey, y'all motherfuckers be like, I felt that. Y'all probably got some fetishes, bro. But there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not kink shaming, but like, dude. That's how you know. If you end up like this guy, that's how you know you don't actually have a fucking fetish, bro. You just watch too much fucking porn. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please leave a like and subscribe, bro. I just need to process all of this. See ya.